Hey, how's everybody doing? Welcome to the worst reviews ever with your boy, Sophisticated Jerk, Casey, Fred, and Amazing. So today, man, we're gonna review this comedy film called Ladies First. So let me go ahead and pull up these slides. They got my boy, the legend in here, Borat, funny cat. So let me go ahead and read this. So Ladies First is a 2026 American comedy film directed by Thea Sharrock. It is inspired by a 2018 French film, I Am Not an Easy Man, by Eleanor, and I'm not going to butcher the last name. So the plot on this is male chauvinist Damien Sachs learns how the sexual discrimination feels after a hard fall transports him into a matriarchal society where he must face the daunting Alex Fox, a female adversary matching his ruthlessness. So, all right, the directors again, Thea Sharrock, produced by Liza Chasson, Eleanor Daly, and Edward leaving it alone. So the cast on this film, Sacha Baron Cohen, I always be butchering his name, as Damien Sachs. So that's Borat. Man, Ollie G, I don't know if y'all used to watch that, but man, funny guy. Rosamund Pike as Alex Fox, Tom Davis as Chris Black, Sonny's husband, Emily Mortimer as Sonny Black, Worsh Opia as Ruby. Damn, I'm gonna butcher some names. Charles Dance as Fred Powell, Fiona Shaw as Felicity Chase, Richard Egret as Pigeon Man, and Red Tennant as Charlie. Sorry, man, we're gonna go ahead and watch the trailer, then we're gonna get into the ratings. So let me pull this up.
Once upon a time, there was a man named Damien.
Ruby, I've got a high priority project for you.
You cannot legally make me break up with one of your girlfriends again.
He was an arsehole.
Fortunately, this story is also about a woman named Alex.
We're meeting up later at the pub for happy hour.
Oh, wow. I think my happy hour days might be long behind me.
Oh, I wasn't inviting you.
The clients want to increase their female market share. Above all, women just want to feel heard, right?
I think they want to be heard.
Alex, I'm in the middle of an idea, but it's so good to have you in the room. I really appreciate it.
God, what a punchable face.
Hey.
There you go. Can you tell us what happened, love? You on any medication? The pill?
The pill?
Look after that pretty face, all right?
What? Ruby, give me an ice pack.
Shall I pick up your dry cleaning as well?
Damien, what are you doing in my office?
What are you talking about? This is my office, Damien. Please. Don't laugh at me. What is this? Jesus.
Good Lord, he needs to knock one out.
This is not my house.
Now vote Beatrice the third.
My sperm, my choice.
Whose fucking cat is this? She's a lady. Women are in charge here.
What? It's a smile.
Where the hell am I?
Hey, Damien. That's my girl.
How do I get out of here?
We make a change.
But she always knows her place. She's got style, she's got grace. She's a winner.
Amongst these gems is the Premier Testicle Bra. They'll make your little fellas fly.
Take me back! Shit! You stole my job.
You need to relax.
I'm just getting started.
You see the blonde on that?
He wants to sit at the big girls' table.
The board had any balls, I'd be the CEO of my...
Had any balls? The delicate sacks that dangle from your body with the slightest tap sends you weeping to the ground.
Yes.
She's a lady.
Can you change your tie?
No, I'm a man.
Father fucker.
That shit was funny. Let me go ahead and pull up the slides. All right, man, we're gonna get the ratings now. So we're gonna go ahead and start with Casey Fred, since he's coming back off vacation. I'll relax.
Oh man. And that show was hoping you would go the wrong way. Oh man. All right, so everybody knows I'm an action junkie. So the comedy was just, it was the total opposite of everything of what I was prepared or used to. And at first, I kept thinking about the movie Ladies Man. So that's where I thought this movie was going. And this was the total opposite. And so, I gotta give it a 2.
You said 2?
So Casey Fred gave it a 2. That's between trash and terrible.
I am keeping up with the worst movie reviews ever. I live up to the name.
All right. So Amazing. What's your rating for this movie?
I thought it was pretty funny. I gave it a 6.8.
A what?
So Amazing gave it a 6. So Amazing gave it a 6.8, which is between good and, well, it's just good, but is it between good and very good? So, all right, I'm giving it a 6. So I'm right between average and good, because I thought it was funny, but definitely some missing parts. And we'll go ahead and get to the questions. So I'm gonna toss it to Amazing first, and then we're gonna get Casey Fred, sister to Outliers.
Let's see. So I gave it a 6.8. Good, but more on the very good, like very good. We're almost right there. The reason I gave it that rating was a couple things. So it actually did remind me of a couple movies. So the movies that I was thinking was What Women Want, where, like kind of different, where he can kind of read the woman's mind. But the one it really reminded me of was, I don't know if you guys ever seen the movie Switch in the early 90s.
Yeah.
But that's the one it actually kind of more so reminded me of. And I thought that movie also was pretty funny. What was different though about this movie is obviously they had the man go into like the woman's world. And I thought that they did a good job of exaggerating everything and literally using absolutely everything, where honestly, sometimes I didn't even think of stuff that's so stereotyped to women right now until they flipped it to man. And then it was like, that is true. People, do that, or that is kind of like a stereotype thing. But I thought it was funny from like the cat calling, the commercials, the My Sperm, My Choice. I thought that was pretty funny. The Victoria's Secret stuff, a lot of the stuff that they showed in, I think, that clip, it was like that literally the whole way through. So even the father effer remark when she was doing the car, which was, I did think that was funny because in that one specific scene, she gets Alex gets a flat tire, and then Damien, he was very happy to let her take over. Like, you could tell at that point, he was like, yeah, go ahead. And when she's like, you know how to change a flat, and and she's like, father effer. And that was the one time he just kind of like sat back and let her go ahead and do that tire change. So I thought that was funny. But that's the reason it reminded me of a couple movies, but nothing to that extent. And literally the whole way through, which I also I found the whole thing pretty amusing. I would recommend it. Plot and storyline, again, I think it was exaggerated, like even from the very beginning when Alex gets hired in and they're kind of, or actually even before that, like the very beginning scenes, it shows Damien calling his assistant basically to break up, or, like, are you calling me to break up with somebody? And she already has his mother's birthday gift. Like literally she's, just like his very personal assistant doing absolutely everything in the man's life for him to make sure, he gets along with all of his like personal type stuff versus the work piece of it. And then it kind of goes right into, again, everything was very exaggerated. So he shows up at his parents' house for his mom's, or I think the dad's birthday, somebody's birthday, and the mom's in the kitchen and the dads are, having their old good time, not helping at all. And they literally switch all of that stuff. so I think it did a good job at switching the whole way through, and even like the most little simplest things. So let's see. I talked about the one scene that stuck out that I thought was funny for the car when Damien did seem to enjoy. The other scene that stuck out to me that I thought was pretty funny was when they're presenting and Alex is presenting. So this is when Alex is like this, trying to be the CEO. They're presenting and they're kind of like fighting for the job or whatever, and she gets a call from her daughter Charlie, and they're in this emergency and all this stuff, and so Damien's sister ends up being a dentist, so he kind of gets to save the day in that aspect. But I think it did a good job again at showing like the kids calling at this pivotal moment in the career, and then when they're in the car they're having the conversation, and it's kind of like, well, this is why I didn't do it, because my career is top, and basically like it kind of makes you think about different stuff. I think that goes through women's mind versus mine just in general. Again, I thought everything to me had kind of like a base level little truth to it, but they just exaggerated it so much it made it amusing. I also thought it was super funny that they made Felicity the secretary, kind of like the head boss, and Damien was willing to do whatever he had to do to try to get that job, and then she drops dead in when he is like doing the little dance and everything for her. So I thought that also was pretty funny. What would I do differently? Oh gosh. I don't think I would do anything differently, because I think the point of the movie was to be exaggerated, just to kind of call out the chauvinist pigs of the world. So yeah, I thought it was funny. And then I did like the end where I thought it was interesting and tied to the end where Charlie the kid is the one kind of like pushing the mom forward, like, hey, stand up for yourself, don't do this. And then at the very end, when they kind of switch places and Damien realizes all the stuff he's done and goes back to basically beg Alex forgiveness, and she says, and I want your office. I thought that was pretty funny also. I thought it was a good little twist from the beginning when the daughter was talking about, did you get an office with your promotion or whatever? So that's it for me.
All right, before I kick it over to Fred, let me go ahead and get Wally's rating. So Wally, I gave it a 6. Casey Fred gave it a 2, and Amazing gave it a 6.8. So what's your rating for this movie?
Okay, so first and foremost, let me just say this. I'm glad to some degree that we all understand that this was not it. Okay. Second, I'm giving this. Yeah, now that I see the numbers, hold up. Yeah, now that I see the numbers, I definitely can't give it that. I'm giving it a 4.
Okay. So Wally got it in between bad and decent. So, all right, back over to Casey Fred. Give us your breakdown.
Hey, first of all, let's just give a commercial. Want to give a shout out to FIFA. They are here in KC. What's up? So shout out to all my people out there. So, hey, and congratulations, Mexico. Hey, they did win the first match of the World Cup. So shout out to them. So getting back to at hand, the worst movie reviews ever. This movie was crazy. I mean, and of course, Amazing would give it high bars for the simple fact that she was loving everything of how the world was totally different. But this is not reality by no means, shape, form, or fashion. There is no Pope Beatrice III. You know what I'm saying? That's the whole point. And it was just like, this whole movie was all about trying to teach a dude a lesson. And she was talking about, it reminded her of the movie with Mel Gibson, but I got a better movie for you that it reminded me of. It reminded me of the European version of Boomerang with Eddie Murphy and Halle Berry and all the rest of the wonderful cast that played it. But I gave this rating a 2 because at the end of the day, a lot of times when we watch movies, we try to put ourselves in it. And I could not put myself in it. I mean, it was just like, this is the world that we live in. And to be able to see it from the opposite perspective, okay, that was cool. But at the end of the day, it was just like, it was over the top, just like what Amazing said. It was heavily exaggerated. And the reality of it is we live in a world where that would never, ever happen. And so it was cool to be able to see it on film, but I wouldn't have paid money to go see this at a movie theater. I'm going to be honest with you. And would I recommend this to anyone? Only if you want to just, get a few laughs and just try to live in a fantasy world that does not exist. Even hitting your head in with one of those lighting poles and you don't even go to the hospital, but yet all of a sudden you go into another dimension where the whole world is opposite of what the world you live in. Okay, that is Wizard of Oz, which even that didn't really exist. The plot and the theme I thought was cool because at the end of the day, this guy was a guy that everybody knew was a narcissist, a male chauvinist. I mean, he knew who he was and he was ready to live his life. But at the end of the day, it was almost as if somebody needed to be able to teach him a lesson. And so between the pole and a lady named Alex Fox, who he was attracted to and tried to hit on until he found out that she was working for him, gave him a run for his money. And that's where the story truly begins. And so at the end of the day, all of a sudden he comes to his senses with a whole lot of series of things because he was like everyone else, chasing a position, chasing fortune, fame, money, the whole 9 yards. And there was only one person in his way, and that was this woman, who in reality, in real life, he was the top dog. But in this fantasy world, she becomes top dog and treats him like he is nothing. And so now he has to cope with that. And even in his fantasy world, he's trying to figure out, okay, how do I get back on top? How do I get back to the top of the mountain? And so that's basically, to me, kind of felt like that's where the story was pretty much going. And it wasn't like he was trying to figure out how to change. That was the whole point. He was trying to figure out how to win, how to be able to defeat his enemy. And she was public enemy number one. And that's how it kind of went. And so, like I said, that movie, if you guys never seen it, Boomerang, I'm pretty sure there's probably some other movies, but that specifically was the one where Marcus, Eddie Murphy plays Marcus Graham, and he's in the top dog and in a position, and they're both fighting for Robin Givens and him were fighting for this CEO position of a makeup company. And like I said, Robin Givens ends up getting it. And so that's everything is in reverse. And just like these two, Alex and Damien, liked each other, so did Robin Givens and Eddie Murphy in that movie. And so you found a lot of parallelisms in that, but it was just more of the European style, which, as you guys know, I don't really never been over to Europe, so I don't know that. So some of the things I thought were funny and enjoyed, and then some of them I just thought, okay, this is a real stretch. But hey, it was a comedy adventure, to say the least. I just thought it wasn't real, and that would never happen. I mean, and I was, I could tell the way Amazing was talking. She was kind of glad that Damien got what he got, especially her attitude. Yes, and I will take the office. At the end, it's like you could tell she was rooting for Alex Fox the whole way. And probably most women would. I feel like, honestly, this was probably more of a chick movie. I think if a bunch of women were together and say, hey, honey child, let's watch this, I think they would just have a ball at it, and go for it. But the overall crowd, you putting this out at the movie theater, I hate to say this, would probably be a bust. So, and that's my personal thoughts on it. Performances that stuck out. Like I said, I just think it was hilarious about how he was fighting. He was really fighting for his position, even though he was in the fantasy world. He could not understand why he was at the bottom of the totem pole. And it was just like his whole goal, his whole mind frame was, how do I get back to the top? How do I get out of here so I can go back to my old life where I was at the top? And so it was just like Hunger Games, and he was just like, he was fighting and he was trying to figure it out. There was some, like Amazing was saying, there was some funny parts where instead of going to Victoria's Secret, he went to Victor's Secret. And then instead of them showing him the two-piece, you know what I'm saying, of lingerie, they're showing him just one thing. And so, I just, there was a lot of funny parts as far as that was concerned, because you was just not expecting none of this, to be honest with you. And they just threw you one curveball after another and just going to the extreme of it. But if you know anything about Damien's character in all his other movies, like Jerk was saying, this is who this guy is. That's what he does. He does the extreme. That's what he's all about. And so I would say that he definitely stood out. I mean, and then him wearing the different outfits, him trying to play the piano, him doing these crazy dances, him all of a sudden sucking up to his bosses, just the whole 9 yards. You could just tell it was all about money, greed, and him trying his ego, which he could not be in second place. And that was his whole thing. And so the fantasy was, hey, dude, you need to be able to learn your lessons from this and to realize you can't treat people any kind of way, even if you're on the top or even if you're on the bottom. So, I mean, there were some life lessons in it. So I appreciate that. But like I said, I just didn't see myself in it, and most moviegoers want to be able to see themselves or be able to apply themselves somewhere somehow, and that's probably why I love action movies so much. But the movie, would I change anything? I don't know. I yes, everything. But no, I wouldn't change everything. I think more than anything, if somehow it could be more realistic, if it could be toned down where all of a sudden it wasn't so exaggerated, but people could have that aha moment, because I didn't think there was a real aha moment in this whole situation. Like I said, I think it was more geared towards women. I don't think most of the men would have got anything out of this movie, but that's just kind of like how I feel about it. And so I would probably leave it like that. And like I said, I thought it was a 2. I'm just gonna leave it right there. That's where I'm gonna put it right there. 2.
All right, I'll go ahead and give my breakdown now. So I gave it a 6, and the reason I gave it that rating, I like what Amazing said. I thought it was a good compare and contrast.
I
like
gave it a 5.
Nah, I gave it a 6.
I swear I heard 5. Okay.
Yeah, so I like the compare and contrast of the movie overall to like how they reverse people. So if I had to like compare it to some movies, I would say What Women Want and kind of like Planet of the Apes, like the old ones, how the monkeys was ruling everything and shit versus the humans. Because in this one, it was like a complete role reverse where I like how they showed all the examples of like what Amazing was saying. Like they showed women catcalling, the power dynamics, like the females in the office, they was like just flirtatious, smashing everybody. Because even when he was like, hey, man, I'm on my way up. He was like, man, she slept with everybody. So it's like they had it down to a T where it was like Victor's Secret. and women were just, like I said, catcalling, and the power dynamics just shifted. So I thought it was creative how they did that reverse world to that one, because they never fully went to that extent in those movies. It was typically, like you said, even in Boomerang, it was like a power dynamic, but to have the whole like world just flip flop and them to carry it on, I thought that was pretty creative. So that's why I had to bump it up to a 6. So man, definitely I understood it was a comedy film, but there was some like lagging parts. I think like towards the end, they kind of started dragging on a little bit with like them doing the pitches. So I think that's where they kind of messed up on, where they should have just like kept some of the comedy things, shortened it up a little bit. But overall, like I said, I thought it was just a good concept. But would you recommend this to anyone? Yes, I would recommend it. I thought it was pretty funny. Like Fred said, I'm not going to the movies to watch this, but you know, Netflixer on a weekend, you ain't got too much going on. It's like, yeah, definitely, man. If you want to watch this, get a laugh. I think this is a decent movie. Plot, storyline, like I said, I thought it was very creative. Like I said, I like how they did the role reversal, even though this was a feminist hit piece on men's masculinity. So what scenes and performances? Like I said, it was just some of the ones where, like I said, the cat calling, so the females like just flirting with him, and my man starting to work out and stuff. He was like waxing and shaving, and he was trying to put on the charm and shit. You know, like some of the females, we were like, all right, they done slept they way up to the top. So he was kind of like the office hoe, about to sleep his way up to the top. He was like, shit, I'm about to put the charm on heavy and get this promotion. So it was just funny how it was like a guy, you know, taking on that stereotype that people have in their mind. Because I know everybody heard that at least once, where it's like, all right, yeah, we know what's going on over there. But it was like funny just to see the guys like playing it out in that role reversal and stuff. So yeah, I thought those were just some of the scenes. If I was a director or producer, what would I change? Like I said, just towards the end, I would have chopped that down a little bit. Then I wouldn't do too much changes. Like I said, I would just chop it down and let it play out, because I thought it was like a unique concept. So I wouldn't have done too many changes. Sorry, Wally, man, I'm gonna go ahead and toss it over to you.
Well, what can I honestly say? So look, I'm gonna just keep it a $100. I didn't even finish watching this movie. That's how bad it was. That's how honestly bad it was for me. Look. I didn't need to watch this movie to understand what the movie was about. I gave this a 4 because only about at least a bare minimum of 30 minutes or so in, I was in and out. I did not give a rat's ass about this movie. I don't know. Maybe it was because I watched it in the morning or something. All right, I'll just especially try it. I don't know which one it is. Maybe it's both. Maybe it's neither. But personally, like knowing the first moment the guy and the female had the interaction, and then it flipped roles and everything, I'm like, okay, look. The bottom of the story is real simple. You're pretty much telling this guy, you just got to respect females workers that actually have some decency, that actually work hard to get where they're at, just like the way you work hard to get where you at. Respect people for their abilities, not respect people for their freaking gender and what they're positioned to be just because of your ideals or whatever, whatnot. That's what I took from it. And I'm like, well, that's all I needed to know. Bye. Because that's it. It really gave you the synopsis right then and there. I really didn't have no time to really care for it. So for me, I'm just like, yeah. And plus, it was so dry. It was so dry. It's so dry, bro. I had no care. Like, I was really like, this was so boring. I'm like, what is this? Like, who submitted this crap? Like, so I was like, all right, like, yeah. Look, the story, the moral of the story is right there in the first pitch. I don't need to see this no more. I'm out of here. That's the bare line. That's why I gave it a 4. Granted, look, if it was more in depth, give or take, I probably would, force myself to watch it. Lord knows I don't want to, but if there's probably more to it than that, I'll probably watch it. But knowing I'll be so traumatized because it's so boring. It's so boring. Like, I ain't gonna lie. And the thing that makes it so bad, like in the first moments of it, you're just listening and you're just seeing these dudes talk, and I'm like, dude, like who wrote this shit? Like, this is what y'all think dudes do when they're in these meetings and stuff? Jerk around and talk about like how the design or the presentation is supposed to be, talking about like, I'm like, this is so the most stupidest things. Like, I can sit here and say, I can go look at Blackish, and then I can go look at this and be like, this is so apples to oranges. Because it's like, yo, like, Blackish, even though it's a comedy sitcom family stuff, but even they didn't do this in their office. Like, what the fuck is this? So it was just sort of stupid. So I didn't really appreciate how they ultimately dumbed down the guys in this sense, to the point like it's just dumb doofuses in the big room, and you got the one woman, and it's like, okay, you know what? Yeah, y'all keep it. I understand why it was done. I understand what the teachings was. Hey, by all means, I respect everyone that got their abilities and their skill sets and how good they are when they actually can prove they're good. But I didn't need to see that this extent because it's just stupid. That's how sad this is, literally. I mean, movie theaters, not a chance in hell. I think most people, if God forbid, if you saw this in the movie theaters, you would probably go back and freaking probably destroy the movie theater itself when you saw this crap. Because that's how bad this is. Like, literally. Like, I wouldn't waste my breath to see in the movies. I wouldn't waste my breath to see it in Netflix. I mean, I don't want to throw it over to Sundance, but Sundance, you shouldn't even take this either. Like, that's how bad that is. Like, throw it all away. Throw it all away. So, again,
Y'all tripping.
Hey, come on down, Wally. There's plenty of room, brother.
I'm already down. Hey, look, I'm already down. And like I said, I'm not saying that the plot and the storyline wasn't great. It just wasn't that exciting. It wasn't that enjoyable to watch. That's all I'm saying. It just wasn't. Because, again, even the first 30 minutes, I just didn't care for it. Like, it was that boring. It was that dry. It just had nothing to it. It was just a typical, like, all right, you know, it's a man's world, yada, yada, yada. You're a dumbass in real life. Let's be real about it. And then, you know, now you flip the switch. Now you're getting your karma, yada, yada, yada. I don't need to see the rest of this. Like, it's already, the writing's on the wall. I don't need to see the rest of this. That's how boring this is. That's how sad this is. Like, literally. Like, I guarantee you. And that's what, we all said it before. There's been a time where you feel like you knew what it was going to be, and you came down to when you still know what it was going to be. This is just one of those things. I knew what it was going to be, and I didn't care to watch the rest of it. So, but again, am I saying that this was all? You can say what you want, Jared, because you had multiple times where you want to say some things. You were wrong about it too. Cry me a river. But with that said, like I said,
terrible guys.
Whatever. With that said, I will probably try to watch this again. And start and try to finish it. Or no, I'll throw myself up.
Nah.
But this was not worth it. This was so.
Tell the truth, Wally. You ain't watching it again.
I know. Hey, look, I will take the chance to watch it. Trust me, there's other movies I didn't like watching.
I'm not even watching it again, so I know you're not watching it again.
Look, no, when they make, look, I will watch it again if it means giving a very justifiable rating. I will, but for right now, my rating is what it is. Respectfully,
come on down, Wally. There's plenty of room down here, brother. I'm trying to tell you. Go ahead and put it in trash territory where it belongs, brother.
Nah, I thought the pitches was funny because, man, like they both, like, one thing I did like is they both had equally bad pitches. Cause like even the guy's pitch where they was like ignoring her and stuff, and they was like, "Hey man, we're just glad you're here." But when they flipped it over to the females, they was like doing wine. He was like, "Man, who the hell like drinking this shit?" So they both had like bad pitches and stuff. But all right, we'll go ahead. We'll jump to the next rating. So we'll see who's going to come up, come down, or stay the same. So amazing. You're going to keep your 6.8, or are you going up or they're going down?
Yeah, I'll stay where I'm at, 6.8.
All right, so amazing staying. Casey Fred, what's your 2 rating?
You know, I've learned a lot of lessons from Amazing, and that is when she's high, I have to go low. So I'm going to go with a 1.5.
All right. So Casey Fred's going down to 1.5, which he's wilding. Me, I'm staying at a 6. So Wally, what's your rating? You going up, down?
even though I haven't finished watching it, which again I will try to give it a chance later, way later. I mean, I ain't gonna lie. The way I've talked about it, this one, yeah, throw it in 3 because the way I said, when I say yeah, throw it in 3.
You going 2, 3? Okay, so Wally's going down 2 or 3. So all right.
Oh god. Oh,
but nah, definitely check it out. Let us know what y'all think. I think, you're going to land more to where I'm at, but you might think it's trash also. So check it out. Let us know.